So my name is Loïc Dachary, and I participate in the Ceph release, uh, Ceph stable release team. And I hope that this 5 minute talk will inspire other people to do the same. Um, oops. So Pacific is currently latest Ceph stable release. And when people upgrade to Pacific point release, they expect to get bug fixes and security fixes that were backported while the development continues. This is called backporting because as code changes, applying a fix on an older version may fail because the code changed. And then if when that happens, you have to port the fix, allowing it to go back in time in a manner of speaking. In truth, this is no different from what happens with most software you run on your machine, except you trust Ceph with your data. And this is really what sets apart the Ceph release process. Because for every bug fix that gets backported to Pacific, the following must be done. First, in addition to the unit test that only take 1 hour, a test lab, including hundreds of machines, is used to run actual Ceph clusters and verify there is no regression because of the bug fix that is supposed to fix a bug, but may also inadvertently do something that is not desirable. Second, at any given point in time, there are 2 stable releases. So currently it's Octopus and Pacific. And tests must also be run to ensure that an Octopus cluster can be upgraded to a Pacific cluster. So that, again, this backport does not prevent that from happening, which would be a catastrophe. This may seem like a lot, but if you're willing to help, there is an onboarding process that is much easier. Ceph is a very lively project, and there always are dozens of bug fixes lined up for backporting. So you can try to apply the patch that interests you more, and to, for example, to Octopus. And from that, you create a pull request. You wait for the unit tests to pass, and they are triggered automatically. You don't have anything to do. And then if that works, if it's green, you can move on to the next backport. And that's actually what Corey did. He joined the team a few weeks ago. And as you can see on the slide, he was able to get quite a few backports right. But what you can also see is that one of them has a red cross, which means the test failed. And this is where the real work begins. You have to figure out why it failed and fix it. But when that happens the first time, you're not alone. You can come, and there is an IRC channel dedicated to that, which is called Ceph Backports. And you can discuss with other people about how to go about that. To be clear, this process is only about what you can find on download.ceph.com. So if you get your stable release from somewhere else, you will have to figure out how the testing is done, how the backporting is done, and how to participate if it's possible at all. I'm employed by Easter Eggs, so it's the logo on the left of the slide. It's a small free software service provider located in France. And it has been running Ceph clusters for itself and its customers for over 5 years now. And it gets the releases from download.ceph.com. It did not join the Ceph Foundation. They are the big names to the right of the slide, but they decided this year that it could contribute to Ceph by allowing me to spend just 2 days a month helping with the Ceph stable release team. Now you may wonder, does that make a difference? I think it does, even though it's really small compared to what other people do. but it's not a competition. And for Easter eggs, it's about giving back with the hope that others will also do the same, and that it will maintain a healthy community of contributors. And that's it.
Thanks, Loïc. We have one question here. How are particular backports prioritized? As non-dev users, sometimes bugs look very scary, but they are not backported for several months. As an example of recent issues affecting DevLab cluster that allows PG to activate below min size.
This is a very complex question. The short answer is there is, to my knowledge, there is not a written down strategy to prioritize backports. So it really depends on the urgency, of course. And so it's difficult to figure out. As a small company who depends on, let's say, this particular backport and they really need it, I think participating in the stable release team is really the best way to push forward the backports that matter to you. But now maybe someone else involved in the core team.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can chime in a little bit. So sometimes, as pointed out, that's generally the protocol, and then sometimes there are things that are not safe to backport. Those are the times when we know that a particular fix might be fixing the problem in the current release, but backporting it might cause more problems because of a lot of refactoring changes or a lot of invariants that change across releases. So in general, those are the ones where we are more careful about, and we do not rush into backporting things. There are certain things that we say, this is a term we use, we allow it to bake. So we let it bake for a particular release, and once we think it is safe, that is when we backport it. And certain things we say, okay, this is a no-brainer, so we just backport it immediately. And there's always this gray area where we don't want to cause more issues by backporting certain things. So I think I'm not sure, like I can look at the tracker or anything for the PG below min size activation thing. If I'm understanding this correctly, this is more a feature that we added versus a fix in general. So if I can get a tracker ticket or something, I can take a look at and comment better.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Neha, for the answer there. And Loki, thank you for the presentation.